Hello class, I'm your instructor, Professor Briggins, and welcome to this class on...
Ninja Gaiden!
No, actually, it's...
You know it's Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, I do, thank you, Jenny Lewis, but that's not going to work today, because today we are playing the sequel. This is your Ninja Gaiden 2 walkthrough for the NES. So the original Ninja Gaiden, famously one of the most, or more challenging titles for the NES at the very least. I believe in our class on that, link in the description, I gave it an 8 out of 10 in terms of difficulty. So I'm actually going to go ahead and give the sequel, Ninja Gaiden 2, The Dark Sword of Chaos, another 8 out of 10, which on the frustration scale equates to writing a threatening letter to the developer, in this case Tecmo. I would argue that the platforming elements of this game are more difficult than the first Ninja Gaiden, but to kind of offset that difficulty, they introduce a very valuable new mechanic in this game, which I'll be talking about, and Blaze is going to be talking about as we get into it. So, without further ado, let's run the intro and get into this walkthrough for
Ninja Gaiden!
I see what you did there. Is Fred Savage okay, by the way? Alright, before we get into the game, let's watch the intro cutscene. Just like the last Ninja Gaiden, there are a ton of cutscenes in this game. There are so many, in fact, that I'm going to put a counter up on the screen every time a cutscene is playing, because I suspect this game may be more cutscene than actual playable game. So we'll find out. We'll run the numbers once all is said and done in the end, but we pick up behind this evil-looking ominous figure here. I'm assuming that's not Ryu, unless we've been really eating between the games. Nice view. Might take shelter if I were that gentleman. What with the lightning, in the distance seems dangerous. Jaquio's been defeated, yeah, thanks to us. And I suppose this person's asking about us. He knows nothing yet. Yeah, we're still shacking up with Sea Swallow. Sorry, Irene. Still can't believe her code name was Sea Swallow. So follow the plan and ignore the protagonist. It really is the plot of every movie in the 80s and 90s. And I love how the evil leader behind everything always just says, follow the plan. No more specifics. You know the plan. Follow the plan. We don't need to get any more descriptive than that about it. There he was. There we were, Ryu. In the gate of darkness, there's Sea Swallow. All men shall kneel before me. All right, so this guy's on a power trip. Got a newcomer, Robert T.S. I'll have to guess what that name might stand for. Ashtar is the new baddie in this game, so that's exciting. We have someone new to direct our blade at. We're already a full... almost 2 minutes into cutscene into this game. I'm not complaining. I think it's great. Gives, it's a more immersive cinematic feel. And there we go. All right, so let's get into it. Ninja Gaiden 2, The Dark Sword of Chaos, by starting a new game. I love how they always presents the year of 1990 before they show you the actual game. Anyway, let's take a look at the controls early on here. Very basic. Jump, A, attack, B, pause, start. It's the same as the last game. Hold up and hit attack to use your secondary weapon. Blaze will talk more about those later as we take a look at the Briggs notes. First, rock the Ninja Splitter. Blaze is going to talk more about this, but it really is it's the great equalizer in this game. It's what keeps this game from being substantially more difficult than the first game. Secondly, use scrolls to add to your spirit or your ninja point total, whatever you want to call it, your secondary weapon. Maximum total. Third, use the clone and special weapons together to get triple damage on enemies and bosses. And lastly, as the rule is with every Ninja Gaiden game, scroll enemies out. But that comes with a caveat. Don't forget that enemies love to respawn in this game, so you have to be careful when you're attempting to re-scroll or scroll somebody off the screen that you don't just continue to re-scroll them on time and time again. You can see that clone item we picked up working for us already. As I said, Blaze is going to talk about that after we topple this first level. Let's just get a basic feel for the game right now, as we have our second clone. That's the max we can have on the screen at once. Careful not to just fall down here. We need to climb carefully down, otherwise you'll lose a life. You'll see that Ryu has learned a new trick. He can now climb instead of just having to jump off of everything. He can climb up and down, and we have our first boss, Gary. It's Scary Gary's Boss Beaters.
Alright, Dando the Cursed, first boss in Ninja Gaiden 2. So what you want to do is get 5 or 6 hits in, and jump on the wall, climb up and jump over him when he hits the wall, otherwise he'll knock you down. And just repeat the process, kind of similar to the boss in the first Ninja Gaiden, the first boss, except this guy charges. He's still super easy. Take him down.
He's cursed for being so useless. But anyway, got our cutscene counter timer back up there. And yeah, who were those thugs? And who's this guy? I mean, if you watch the intro credits, you know that's Robert T.S. Mysterious new guy. Already giving us orders. We don't even know you, man. But yeah, we should go protect Irene. Move it out. Yeah, what's your deal? Very, oh, that's your deal. Oh, no. That's, huh? You a bad shot? Oh, you saved me from the swamp. Why Swamp Thing in our game? Arg. Didn't see any of those before, but whatever. I see Ryu add it to the padding he has in his forehead. His gi there, but... Come on, Hayabusa. You may be the only one who can beat them. Alright. Fine. We'll take Robert T.S.'s word for it and go to the Tower of Elijah. And now let's finally bring in Blaze to give us an overview on the basic items of Ninja Gaiden 2. Alright, let's talk about the items in Ninja Gaiden 2. First, we have these kind of generic-looking pots, jars, whatever you want to call them, not to be confused with the health jar, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But these are points. Red or blue, they give you points. Just score points. Again, if you have a long-running feud with your best friend, maybe you're in it for the points, you're both acing this very difficult game, in which case, kudos to you. But if you're out for points, pick these up and take down your childhood friend. Moving on to more important items, if you ask me, we have the blue kind of symbol square, which is worth 10 spirit points, which you use to use your secondary weapon. We're going to talk about the weapons a little bit later on. We also have the red version of this, which refills your spirit points completely, so a bit of an upgrade versus the last Ninja Gaiden, if you're familiar with these similar looking items in that. This tops you off the red one this time. And then we have the very important scroll, which adds 10 spirit points to your max total. Very important item. And then we move on to my personal item of the game in Ninja Gaiden 2. The clone ninja token, whatever you want to call it. The red one specifically will create a second instance of Ryu to follow you about, a clone which does everything you do, including stabbing and using your secondary weapon. This is a godsend in some of those later battles. You can have up to 2 clones, so make sure you get 2 of these. Hold on to them, they don't disappear until you die. So, keep these. Guard them with your life, literally, because if you die, you'll lose them, but they make all the difference later on, and I might say the only way to beat this game later on. The blue one is just your stock of the your extra life, your one-up, basically. And then we have the blue jar, which kind of like a genie jar, something, a bottle, whatever you want to call it. This gives you back 6 health to your life total. Good luck, Blaze. Hopefully you figured out the rain mechanics while we were covering over that. The wind, better said, I suppose. Be very careful near the pits. The birds don't do as much damage in this game, so that's nice. It's kind of pluses and minuses on both sides, but anyway, Gary.
Boss beaters. Baron Spider. Alright, you want to triple your secondary weapon, just give him a very quick KO. The Art of the Fire Wheel is probably the best move to have at this point, but anything will do if you can line them up. It's just Art of the Fire Wheel when he's above you. Works very well. Otherwise, this can be kind of a tricky fight, avoiding the spiders that he launches out at you and the fact that he transitions, but definitely get that triple secondary to take him down quick.
Thank you very much, Gary. There's that shot again. Remember that shot from the last game as we look down on Bloody Mouth, I guess his name was. I still feel really dirty saying that. I really don't like saying that, but... as we are already on to Act 3. No, we're not. More cutscene. Thought there was a reason. Just completely unnecessary, unless that's to like block out the light or something. Kind of doubles as a shade. Of course, most of his levels take place at night. Oh man, we gotta do it, right? We gotta do it. We did it last time. Let's do it. That moment you realize you climbed the wrong mountain. Again!
Let's mean it.
Alright, I'm sorry. It's just, I can't help myself. Every time I see Ryu Hayabusa standing on a ledge, that's the first thought that jumps into my head. So, obviously here we need to wait for the lightning to guide our path, light things up, let us know where we can jump. And don't be afraid to use your secondary weapon to clean off the screen of enemies. And speaking of secondary weapons, let's get a rundown now with Blaze. First we have the normal, narrow throwing star. Takes the least amount of spirit points. Very narrow, doesn't hit a lot of targets. Not all that great if you ask me. Then we have the boomerang-like throwing star, which is awesome if you have clones, because it's very rare that it'll go back to the clone who threw it, which means it'll just keep circling around you almost indefinitely, killing enemy after enemy, kind of becoming like a protective shield, which we'll actually talk about the intended item like that in a moment. Then we have the Art of the Fire Wheel, classic from this series, a wide diagonal up flame this creates. Again, very lethal when you have you and your clones throwing this, especially against bosses. Then we have sort of the equivalent, but for down and to the left or right. Doesn't cover as much ground, but still, it can be useful in the right circumstances. And finally, the fire shield, which lasts about 3 seconds. Careful if you pick up another item when you have the shield out. It will immediately disappear, and that could leave you in a very bad way if you're not careful. Good luck in this very challenging game. All right, thank you very much, boys. Yes, do not be afraid to use your, in this case, triple ninja as we get another scroll right there. We've gotten 3 so far. We have 7 to go, or 4 to go out of the 7 possible in this game. But yeah, there are plenty of those replenishing tokens to be found all around this game, so usually a safe bet to just go ahead and use one of those things. Prioritize your health over a few ninja points here and there. Especially on a guy like this who's a little bit tougher and looks very familiar. Fluff, what do you know about it?
If a lot of the enemies in Ninja Gaiden 2 look familiar, it's for a good reason. Not only were a number of basic enemies reused between this and the original Ninja Gaiden, but many of the bosses of the original Ninja Gaiden were rebranded as regular enemies in this sequel.
Poor guy got a demotion. Gary?
Boss beater. Funky Dynamite. I love it. Sounds like a dance. Sounds like a top 40 hit. Sounds like a viral sensation. In this case, he's just a not too difficult boss. Once again, the best strategy is to triple your secondary weapon to get a quick KO. Jump on the pillar to stun him, get him in that rhythm, just take him down. Not too difficult if you stick to that strategy.
Alright, clip his wings. I like that. Thank you very much, Gary. We are 4 minutes into our cutscene so far. There's still plenty to go. You're thinking, Professor, this doesn't warrant that counter with 4 minutes. We're like halfway through the game. Wait for it. Oh, but I buried the lead. Irene's still alive. Oh, wait. No, that was... Did we ever sleep together when you were doing that trick? Ashtar? I'm not into it. Maybe Ryu's into it. I don't know. You find it hard to believe that a weakling like us was able to defeat Jaquio. Actually, that's a really nice testimonial for Video Games 101 now that I think about it. Yeah, thanks to Gary, even a weakling like me was able to take down the toughest boss in Ninja Gaiden, one of the hardest on the NES. And I'm thinking, thanks to Gary, we're about to take you down as well. Irene, this is between me and the, Robert T.S., come on. Can I kind of like this guy. Sewer rat? What? It's a very specific insult. Hand over the sword and surrender. I have a handgun. Does that work against pure evil? I've been playing these games wrong. We gotta ditch the sword and get ourselves to a sporting goods store. If this works out there, Ryu. Into the maze of darkness. Is he gonna shapeshift again and trick me into sleeping with him again? As I come up with this elaborate, spicy backstory for, alright, here we are. Act number 4. Back into the action, or is it more cutscene? It's more cutscene. It's not as effective as a gun. Oh, the Sword of Chaos. I thought it was the... Was it the Dark Sword of Chaos? Is that the full title of this game? I should know that teaching this class today. Fang of the Dragon. That's really cool, actually. That does sound better than a gun. The Dark Sword of Chaos. And Robert is with Special Intelligence U.S. Army. Well, you look a lot cooler than Foster from the last game, who was with like the CIA or something. Set up his PowerPoint presentation. This guy's got shades and a gun, and he's all ripped and cool looking. He actually, he's outside. I don't think Foster ever left his office. But anyway, I digress. We are now in the Inferno right here. Definitely don't hold back in using your secondary weapon at this point. Especially when you have your triplets, as I'm going to call them from here on out. As Blaze mentioned, this windmill star that just goes back and forth across the screen. It's just so lethal when you have the triplets, just because it can't find the guy that threw it, so it just kind of floats around and creates this shield. Like the one we have right now, but it's a bit cheaper, obviously. This one doesn't last quite enough for my taste. Got you some rocks, dude. Good for you, man. Alright, speaking of the title, I was fumbling on it earlier. We saw it there in the whiteboard intro, but Fluff, tell us more about the title of Ninja Gaiden 2 with the Dark Sword. Just tell us.
Ninja Gaiden 2 is known by a different name in every major region it was released in. In the US, it's known as Ninja Gaiden 2, The Dark Sword of Chaos. In Japan, its title translates to the mouthful, Legend of the Ninja Dragon Sword 2, The Demonic Sword of Darkness. And in the PAL European version, it's simply called Shadow Warriors 2.
Alright, I like it. Simple over there. But Dark Sword of Chaos sounds pretty cool. Note the, he said begrudgingly, note the direction of the water and everything. There's a little bit of a shortcut coming up here, which saves and shaves a little bit of time off. Keep that in mind. Again, definitely be using your triple secondary weapon right here. Be very careful jumping. So we have 70 ninja points at this point. I'm sorry, I just keep alternating between ninja and spirit points. I think in one game they called them one. Here's a little shortcut, by the way. Let this guy hit you. You can bypass a large section of this screen. And although you'll take that damage, you'll probably save more than you end up taking in the long run. I mean, look at this. It's just a never-ending shield at this point. Very handy. Get some health there if you need it. I love my guys just suspended in midair right there. That guy looks like he hates his job. We took care of that. Definitely don't want to be on the right side of that guy from the knock us into the, I love climbing on the moving water. That is impressive. It's one of the few moments where the downward move is effective. We got these birds flying about. And just kind of run at this point, get to the edge of the screen. And we'll get to the next area. And the next boss, actually. Let's go back to Gary.
Boss beaters. Right, Naga Sotuva. Jump on the left platform, get a few hits, and you gotta jump first, and then move to the opposite platform and repeat. It's not difficult, it's a very simple rhythm to get into, and you can do the whole fight without taking a single hit. But just stick to this, and you'll take them down.
Finally, kind of a breath of fresh air fighting an easy boss at this point. You know, it sounds a bit like a artificial sweetener. That's okay. Get that counter back up. What is he after? Yeah, why does he keep shape-shifting into people that I'm actively sleeping with? It's alright, we can make jokes because Ashtar is a pushover if you know what to do, and we're going to point out what to do. There you go. Let's see if he responds to taunts like that. Irene, I'll save you. Just a lot of cutscenes. Alright, are we done? Back into the action? There we go. Alright, so the difficulty, it continues to tick up as we replenish our supply right there. Yeah, the platforming just is going to get harder and harder from here on out. Just be warned. It's the only time that I like that particular secondary weapon. It's cheap at the very least. It's the cheapest of all of them, I think, only costing 5 a shot. Most of them run about 8. Mind the spikes, try not to jump into them. Even with that extra padding on his head, it's gonna smart. I think that's the word. It's the medical term we should use in that case. So this area isn't too bad, it's relatively non-pitted, if I can coin a word on the spot. But there's gonna be another scroll coming up here, so note that, but Fluff, I'm told that you can actually achieve more than the max ceiling of 100 spirit/ninja points in this game. Can you talk about that?
While the game was designed to limit your spirit points at 100 like we'll show, you can actually get more than that. Just like in the first Ninja Gaiden, when you lose to any phase of the final boss, you'll reset at the beginning of the level. The scroll in the final level respawns after you've taken down one phase, so this means the max is technically 120. It's unlikely that an extra 20 points will help you beat the final bosses, so I recommend sticking to Gary's tips to take them down as always.
Never let me down yet, thank you very much, Fluff. To the one who releases darkness with the immortal blood, he shall receive the power of almighty evil. There you go. I love how much these guys just embrace being evil, seemingly for the sake of being evil. They're just playing their parts, you know? Just follow the plan, be evil. I think I could play a evil mastermind pretty well, just throw out a few of those phrases. I'm evil, follow the plan, laugh a lot maniacally, even when nothing relatively funny has been said. Very careful with the ice here. A lot of new platforming mechanics and obstacles and things like that to deal with in this game. You know, we had the very localized gusty winds earlier that just seemed to change on a dime. We had the darkness, which was only lit by the lightning, and now we have the icy areas. Careful when you're climbing, careful when you're just be careful. It's a tough platforming game. That worked out relatively well right there. Just drop off there, don't even worry about jumping left and right. I'll tell you, as much as I love my triplets right here, or my twins, we are the triplets, it gets a little, I guess, I don't know if confusing is the right word, but when you think, when you see a guy in red behind you, you assume it's one of your dudes, and it turns out just be one of the henchmen wearing red, so. Alright, I'd like to point out an item which is very helpful in the next boss battle. It's going to be not here, but on this next one. It's hard to miss. Pick that up, hold on to it, don't pick up anything else, and go into this next cutscene, and you can thank me in a few minutes. But back to more cutscenes. I'm telling you, this game is swimming in them. We're not even close to being done with these things. I literally think it might be 50-50 cutscenes to game. And that's, not necessarily a bad thing. It's telling a nice story. First game was revolutionary in its introduction of, heavily using cutscenes in a game to tell a story on the NES. And like that, oh god, Irene. Alright. That's a bummer. I should mention, we have narration through playthroughs of these games on this channel as well. If you don't want to hear me and the other TAs babble on with the super helpful keys on beating these games, and you can check those out. Just watch us play it without with the focus on the game. Sword is trembling with delight. I guess in the right context that could be funny to laugh that hard. There's my man. Yeah, a little late. A little late, Robbie. One of those swamp men hold you up. Back off, you bothersome swine. Didn't he call him a sewer rat before? I mean, he just got shot. What is he gonna do? He got all kind of electrified. Don't worry, class. I know it doesn't look good for us right now, but we are about to humble Ashtar in the biggest way possible. Just makes every word he's calling us a fool just that much sweeter knowing what's about to happen to him. That's fine, talk. Yeah, enough of your games, Ashtar. Let's just throw down, you and me right now. Love it. Why Ryu's the man. Yeah, why do you think I'm here? Why do you think I climbed the wrong mountain and then this mountain? Yeah, show us how powerless we really are while I show you Gary.
Boss beaters.
Ashtar, alright. Triple art of the fire wheel to absolutely embarrass Ashtar. The professor showed you where to pick one up. Hope you held on to it. That is easily the fastest, easiest, far and away the easiest way to take down Ashtar and just embarrass the pants off of the man.
Arg is right, Gary. Thank you very much. No one will be able to stop it. So, as far as I know, you were the last boss, so who else you got? It's a cool effect for 1990. But, Shadows of Chaos. So close to Shadows of Darkness. It's the Dark Sword of Chaos. We're very close. Eternal Darkness. They love the evil, love the darkness, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, they love the cutscenes. Now, she got ran through. I forgot all about that. Oh, she's okay. Altar somewhere. Be more vague about it. Destroy the altar. Kind of like when we had to destroy the demon statues. Something tells me in this game where there's going to be another instance where we're just kind of standing around where they're like, alright, stop it. Don't let that thing happen that's about to happen. You have 10 seconds. Why are you just standing there? I feel like one of those is coming up too. But anyway. I'm not sure this qualifies as a Save the Princess trope. We haven't actually put that up in a while. We haven't played a lot of games as of late where we've had to save the princess. I guess we'll come back for her if there's time. I guess if this were Robert's game, we would be putting up that trope list right now. Are you okay though? You got shot by like a lightning bolt type thing. I like that we're good friends now, after only like 3 cutscenes or something like that. That's how Ryu gets to know people, through cutscenes. That's fine. Alright, so energy conservation is the name of the game from here on out. There's going to be a few places to refuel, so to speak. But I'm going to show you a hidden health replenishing area right up ahead, or one of those jars or vases or lamps or whatever you want to call them. Right there. Just stab to the left on the ground. Stab in that general vicinity. Don't miss the scroll right there to get to 90. Penultimate scroll, if you will. Okay, we can't do better than there we go. Art of the Fire Wheel, always a good thing. Yeah, it's these red guys. I know it's a slightly different shade of red to my guys' pinkish orangish salmony outfit color, but you know, when they're coming up behind you, you just sort of assume it's your guys, and then I'm sorry. We can't do it again, can we? I'm not even sure how we would describe what he's on right now. When you cling to the wrong... What's your plan for getting over there, by the way? Is that a lava lake? It's not a meme. I'm just concerned about that lava lake. I like that they cut over to check in on Robert and Sea Swallow, limping back to civilization, I guess. Oh no, they ran into... Well, Ashtar's dead. Who's left? A Voozle? Wait a minute. That ridiculous outfit looks familiar. That's right. It's our old pal. Well, I guess we'll find out later. Spoilers. Guess Robert didn't play the first game. This guy can't help himself either, though. That's how you know he's evil. Prone to bouts of hysteria. And so we have one more boss before the final stretch where health becomes very hard to come by. We want to conserve as much as we can before we get to this next boss just at the end of this little area here. Speaking of recycling enemies and bosses, Gary?
Boss beaters.
Alright, the Kelbeross! Running out of ideas for this game for bosses. Use the triple weapons, or you can just hide underneath the pillar and stab when either one reaches either side of you, just like the original Ninja Gaiden. And just like the original, only one is going to do damage when you hit it. Yeah, just the triple weapons, once again, is the play when you've got it, as well as your clones, getting them in positions. Not too difficult if you stick to that strategy.
Alright, good call, Gary. I fought this creature before, how could this be? Even Ryu's like, have the developers really run out of ideas after only one game? Play Mega Man, Ryu, and there's a little something I want to introduce to you called a boss rush that'll blow your mind. Speaking of recycling, guys, but yeah, how you doing, Robert? Real nice. Who got her? Well, I was wrestling with those pups. Act 7. The final act, I'm pretty sure. If the Gate of Darkness is opened, the tribe from the Dark World will cause chaos. As they do. That'll be the end of all mankind. Jeez, no pressure. Are we getting disinterested with the plot of this game? Focus, Ryu! Oh, they're coming again. And there are quite a few of them. It's alright, I've got quite a few of I have clones. We're the triplets. You hold them off? Yeah, we can't leave you, man. Okay. It's weird how our mouse doesn't even move. I mean, like, you can see the outline of his lips. Unless he's like... working on his ventriloquism, I suppose. Only one who can stop their nondescript evil plan. That's the sentence right there. You have the evil, and you have the plan. It fits. Don't forget to save the girl while you're at it. They really want me to get that trope list. Alright, fine, we'll do it. There it is, all updated. Got all the latest. Wait, you threatening us now? Cut away, I don't know what's going on now. No one ever gets past old jungle rat Rob. I need context on that nickname. No. I need a story, I need an anecdote. How can he leave seconds after learning his name is Jungle Rat Rob? I need details. How much alcohol was involved, everything. But anyway. Alright, let's focus on the plot of the game, apparently. So, we're coming up on the final boss, and it's a 3-phase boss like the first game. Health is going to be hard to come by. So, you don't get any back after defeating each phase. I think they do let you keep your secondary weapon, which was not the case in the first game. So, that's something to keep in mind. But Gary's got you covered. He's got the tips. Although, it will help if you do have your triple weapons in a lot of these cases. I will say that, but yeah, some health right there. Art of the Fire Wheel is probably the best way to go. we're not going to be using too many secondary weapons when we fight the final boss. We're going to try to do it relatively vanilla for you. But just keep that in mind. If you died any of those phases, you'll be sent back to the beginning of stage 7-1. Get more ninja points, I suppose. Background, oof. It's nightmare nauseous is how I've described that color and effect. Alright. How's old Jungle Rat Rob holding up? Doesn't look good. I was so hoping he was about to say, this is the end of Jungle Rat Rob, eh? It's dark, everything's getting cloudy. Oh no, I kinda like that guy. Don't worry, Jungle Rat, hold it together. Don't bleed too much of that purple blood. As we're, I think, in a different part of the area, just kind of running. Hardest stretch right here, they saved it for last. Again, I recommend using as many of the Art of the Fire Wheel as possible at this point. Just protect yourself, conserve health. Focus here, getting a nice gap right there. We have the technical max, or the official max, better said, for our ninja points. Got a steep jump right there, just made that. I love just clearing the screen. I'm not going to pick up that garbage when we have the Art of the Fire Wheel. Scroll out, and there's another bird around here somewhere. There it is. There's that guy. He was definitely a boss in the first game. Not a hard one, mind you, but good lord. Alright, well, there goes our fire wheel, but it's alright. There's some health. Top ourselves off. Just waiting for that. Yeah, I just really do love that, that boomerang star right there. I know. Called it by its proper name earlier, but it's been a long game. You. Yeah, Bloody Mouth. Guy kind of looks like Bloody Mouth. Bloody Mouth without the 7-figure income. Kind of looks like we're inside the that creature from Legendary Wings. Also, we've done a class on that. Check that. All right, so that's the final health pick-me-up on this stage in the game. There's the scream right there. Obvious nod to that. Squid guys are mind flayers. That just came to me. Sorry about that. Anyway. Who's this all been leading up to? Unless I already said it and I forgot and I ruined the surprise. Kelbeross Part 3? There he is. Back from the dead. Just when you thought you'd taken him down at the end of Ninja Gaiden 1. In case you don't know, yeah, it's Jaquio. How'd you manage that? Well, what the heck? What did we play the first game for? It's fun, I suppose. Answer my own question there. Spirit released after our battle flowed into my body. That is creepy. The dark power of evil. Ooh, that's the worst one. Yeah, take it in. Drink it in. The spirit you defeated before was nothing more than a pawn. So now it's Super Jaquio. Jaquio, I want to say 2.0, maybe 4.0. This is like the 4th phase of Jaquio, when you want to think of it that way. Sword of Chaos simply sucks up your life force, and when the sword awakens, just point out the next clown nose we have to stab, right? It's a bit more technical than that. We'll throw it to Gary. That's why I don't do bosses. I I just say, show me the clown nose that I need to stab. He's going to use Irene's life force to call up the demons. Okay. I don't really understand that. You're just saying kind of a lot of words. Beginning of a new age. I mean, we were trying to do that through a more conventional means before you pulled us out of retirement. The age of eternal darkness, and he's still got the fits right there. Oh, nah. Yeah, I love it when Ryu just gets fed up when he's done. Fight Ninja Dragon, the last of your clan. Now we should decide whether light or darkness is to be the true master. I mean, if I win, I'm not gonna enslave anybody or anything, but Gary.
Boss beaters.
Alright, the first phase of Jaquio gets my vote for hardest boss of the game. Really, all the Jaquios are pretty hard, but I'll go ahead and give it to this first one. So the strategy here is you want to get on the left wall at the start of the battle and climb to where the boss is going to hover next. You can kind of see the pattern as he hovers left and right, so you can anticipate where he's going to be, then jump off, just keep stabbing, and let your clone dole out the damage. Obviously, you need to prioritize dodging the projectiles from Jaquio to survive this battle. Also worth mentioning is, if you've got a decent secondary weapon at this point, Art of the Fire Wheel being one, you can do the triple with your clones once again. But if you want the actual strategy, that's what I recommend. Climb on the wall, anticipate where he's going to be, jump off, let your clones do the damage, and watch out for those hits.
Excellent strategy, thank you very much, Gary. And I think we have a fluff fact about this right now, aside from this being one of those moments I was talking about where we really should act to stop all hell from breaking loose. But let's hear a fluff fact about this. Fluff?
In the SNES compilation release of the NES trilogy, there were a number of small changes to the series. One such change was changing the color of Jaquio's blood from red to green, as Nintendo felt the NES version was too graphic.
And can we keep that Vivaldi going for just a bit longer? The prospect of evil encompassing and destroying the world just seems a lot more palatable when Fluff's giving us one of his facts and we have that playing in the background. Irene getting zapped to death, but we got her Vivaldi. So are we about to fight a sword? Are we going to fight Irene? Really trying hard not to picture me, myself, and Irene. So we're coming up on 20 minutes of cutscenes. What'd I tell you? We're going to run the numbers. We're almost done. I'd say we're just below 50% right now, but depending on how quickly we take down these last two phases. Yeah, we really should have done something in the last 10 minutes. They're just standing around yelling out Irene's name over and over again. Definitely let the evil blood do the magical enchantment change on the Sword of Doom or whatever. Dark Sword of Chaos. Classic Ryu. Now we gotta fight Zombie Jaquio. All thanks to Ryu's indecision. We gotta fight a big wall. Doom wall. I think we did one of those in Secret of Mana. Oh my god, Gary.
Boss beaters.
Alright, Jaquio's second phase. Jump to set up your clone in position to stab, and then duck below the spit that comes off of that right side and just start stabbing away. Once again, we want to prioritize dodging and just repeat the process. Jump to get your clones in position, stab, dodge from the falling spit or rain or blood from the top, and watch out for the spit that shoots out from the right side. Not an easy battle, but I know you can do it. And once again, if you got some of those triple moves, you can use those here, but that's the strategy. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Gary. Yeah, the clones are the real MVPs of this playthrough, not so much Ryu. Banuga Montoya. Channeled his father. I channel Gary.
Boss beaters.
Alright, the final phase of Jaquio. Jump to set up your clones in position to stab, just like the last phase. You want to duck below that claw, just keep stabbing. And then once the heart is accessible, repeat the same process basically. Get one of your clones in position, dodge projectiles as necessary, and congratulations, you have taken down a monster in Double Dragon. I'm sorry, Ninja Gaiden 2. Ninja Gaiden 2, one of the hardest on the NES. Congratulations.
Woo, thank you for the tips today, Gary. You saved my hide once again, as we are coming up on 22 minutes of cutscenes. And we're all cutscenes from here on out. We're not going to count the credits, mind you. Let's get a few more Irene shouts in for good measure. Might want to leave. We always want to leave as soon as we kill the last boss. That's the other thing Ryu never seems to grasp. We're going to get that shot of the place being destroyed and then pan left or right to see that, oh, we actually did make it out on time. It's just for suspense. To break apart in 3 pieces, just like his last little lair. He's got to be thinking, because you know he's going to survive this one too. He's got to be thinking, son of a, you know how much that cost? Building this next secret hideout. Maybe I should stop building them on tops of cliffs where it's very visible to anyone in probably a 500-mile radius to see that I'm up to all kinds of no good right here. Ah, he's a male pattern going on right there. It's some sort of like skull kraken, kind of those wizards from those squid octopus wizards from Final Fantasy. Another game we need to do a class on at some point. I'm looking forward to that one. By the way, if you have not yet already done so, please subscribe. We do one of these classes every single week. And there it is, pan to the right. And there we are. Did we carry her the entire way? And was it worth it to climb that tiny little, like, ledge part of that mountain just to watch the base blow up? Maybe, like, take her back to get some medical attention or something? No, the view's gonna be amazing. My clan defeating the demons, none of that matters now that you're gone. Alright, so she's dead, so it doesn't matter. But wait! The sword works both ways. All of a sudden we look like we're 10 years old. Is he gone? Really hoping I get jumped on the way back home. Swordless. One of those swamp things jumps out. So maybe she'll be okay. She looks like Velma right there. Gotta complete the trope. It's not the trope if she's dead. Alright, she's not dead. Good. Awesome. Telling you, keep these ladies under glass. They're lock and key. Not like in a weird way, but like maybe they won't get kidnapped and or killed like twice next time. I guess she only died the once, but what happened without that second E? Felt like I've been dreaming for a long time. It's alright. It's over. I'm 10 years old again. And the darkness is gone. And it's also official. This game has more cutscene than actual game. It's been 45 minutes roughly since we hit start to begin the game, so about 21 minutes of actual gaming. If you get through unscathed without dying. And yeah, 25 minutes of this. It'll stay like this forever until Ninja Gaiden 3, which I'm not looking forward to. It's the hardest of the trilogy, if you can believe that right now. You're probably banging your head against the wall, about to go ape. Just hearing me say that. I like those colors, though. That was very, it's very retro wave right there. There you go. Watching a shooting star and wondering how the heck they're gonna get down from this cliff. Probably a good time to ask Ryu why he brought her up there in the first place. But anyway, Ninja Gaiden 2, The Dark Sword of Chaos. Excellent game. I love the new mechanic of having the triplets, having the twins joining us. And yeah, very difficult game though. Hopefully this helped you out, especially the boss tips from Gary. But a big thanks to all of my TAs today. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment. Let me know if you've played this game before, if you had trouble with it. More importantly, do you think this game is easier than the first Ninja Gaiden? As I said, I kind of put them neck and neck for me personally, but that's just me. And yeah, like this video, it really does help us out. And one last time, consider subscribing if you have not yet done so already. We do one of these classes every single week. We would love to have you enrolled. And that should do it. We'll see you next week for next week's class in the same spot. Hope to see you then. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and comment on this video, and click subscribe if you haven't already, as this seriously helps me to keep making great content for you. And check the description of this video to see what song is playing right now.